The Spanish Civil War, 1936 to 1939, was a brutal conflict that shattered the fragile peace in Europe and cast a long shadow on the 20th century. But what if this pivotal event never happened? Here, we delve into an alternate reality where Spain navigated a more peaceful path, exploring how our world might look today. But before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this, and now let's get started. Without the Civil War's devastation, Spain would have likely emerged as a more stable democracy. The Second Spanish Republic, established in 1931, could have matured, addressing social and economic concerns through democratic processes. This could have led to a more prosperous Spain, integrating with the existing European economies much earlier. A stronger Spain might have played a more significant role in the post-war reconstruction of Europe, potentially even becoming a founding member of the European Coal and Steel Community, ECSC, the precursor to the European Union. This earlier integration could have resulted in a more unified and economically powerful European bloc on the world stage. The Spanish Civil War served as a testing ground for the ideological clashes of the 20th century, drawing in international support for both fascist and communist forces. Without this conflict, the rise of fascism in Europe might have been slower and less widespread. The emboldened democracies of Europe, with a potentially stronger Spain as a member, could have presented a more united front against Hitler's expansionist ambitions. This, in turn, could have impacted the outbreak and course of World War II. Additionally, the absence of a fascist Spain, a staunch supporter of fascist regimes in Latin America, could have strengthened the position of democracies in the region during the Cold War. The domino effect could have extended to other former Spanish colonies like the Philippines, where a more democratic Spain might have fostered a different political climate. The Spanish Civil War solidified the stark ideological divide between fascism and communism, with devastating consequences for Europe and the world. Without this stark contrast, the political landscape of Europe might have evolved differently. Perhaps social democratic movements, offering a middle ground between capitalism and communism, would have gained greater traction, particularly in the aftermath of the Great Depression. This shift could have influenced political discourse across the globe, with a stronger focus on social welfare programs, workers' rights, and economic equality. Additionally, the rise of decolonization movements in the mid-20th century might have played out differently, with a more democratic Spain potentially offering a more cooperative and less exploitative approach to its former colonies. The Spanish Civil War silenced many voices and stifled artistic expression. A peaceful Spain would have nurtured a vibrant cultural scene. Artists, writers, and intellectuals who fled the war, like the famed painter Federico Garcia Lorca, might have remained in Spain, enriching the country's cultural landscape. This could have led to a more prominent Spanish voice in global arts and literature. Additionally, the war's impact on the development of the Spanish language, particularly the suppression of regional dialects like Catalan and Basque, might have been less severe. A more diverse and dynamic linguistic landscape could have emerged within Spain, fostering a richer cultural identity. Predicting the exact course of history without the Spanish Civil War is impossible. However, by examining the potential ripple effects, we can paint a picture of a world that might have been. Here are some additional aspects to consider. Without the war's disruption, Spain might have seen faster technological advancements. A stable and prosperous Spain could have invested more in research and development, potentially leading to breakthroughs in various fields. This, in turn, could have impacted its global standing and influence. In our reality, Francisco Franco ruled Spain for nearly 4 decades. A peaceful transition to democracy could have led to a very different Spain politically and socially. The absence of a fascist dictatorship could have fostered a more open and tolerant society, with a focus on human rights and civil liberties. This could have had a profound impact on the development of Spanish democracy and its international image. The war's suppression of regional dialects might not have occurred, leading to a more diverse and vibrant linguistic landscape. A flourishing Spain could have embraced its linguistic heritage, promoting the use of regional dialects alongside Castilian Spanish. This could have fostered a stronger sense of cultural identity within different regions of Spain. By delving deeper into these areas, we gain a richer understanding of how the absence of the Spanish Civil War could have reshaped not just Spain, but the world as a whole. The Spanish Civil War serves as a stark reminder of the profound impact a single event can have on the course of history. While the previous section explored some potential positive ramifications of a world without the Spanish Civil War, it's important to acknowledge the limitations of such thought experiments. History is a complex web of cause and effect, and a single averted event can have unforeseen consequences. Here are some additional points to consider. Even without the Civil War, Spain would have faced internal challenges. Social and economic inequalities could have led to social unrest and political instability. Additionally, the rise of authoritarian regimes elsewhere in Europe could have posed a threat to a democratic Spain. A more prosperous Spain might have attracted greater international attention, potentially becoming a target for intervention by other powers during the Cold War. The absence of a fascist Spain might have led to a different dynamic between the US and the Soviet Union, potentially altering the course of the Cold War itself. While the Spanish Civil War emboldened fascist regimes, it's difficult to say definitively how fascism would have evolved without it. Fascist ideologies might have gained traction elsewhere in Europe, potentially leading to a different kind of conflict. Alternatively, a more united and prosperous Europe could have effectively countered the rise of fascism altogether. Ultimately, pondering a world without the Spanish Civil War is an exercise in hypothetical history. It allows us to appreciate the fragility of peace and the interconnectedness of global events. While the potential benefits of a peaceful Spain are undeniable, the path of history is rarely linear. Unforeseen challenges and unforeseen consequences could have unfolded, shaping a world just as different, but perhaps in unforeseen ways. Regardless of the specifics of an alternate reality, the Spanish Civil War serves as a powerful lesson. It reminds us of the human cost of ideological wars and the dangers of unchecked extremism. By studying the past, with all its complexities and contradictions, we gain a deeper understanding of the present and can better navigate the challenges of the future. The what-if of a world without the Spanish Civil War compels us to cherish the peace we have and actively work towards a world where dialogue and diplomacy triumph over violence and division.